Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to another technical update video. No significant changes to the makeup of this video compared to other previous editions in this particular series. We'll look at, well, I would look at indices, commodities, Bitcoin, bonds, and then about 10 ASX companies. I think it's 10. Yes, I think it's 10. I have to go to the right watch list first, though. Here it is. It's called Video Technical, so I don't mix it up with anything else. So let's start with the indices. And this is the weekly chart for the XJO. And if you do have a look at this weekly chart, going back about 7 years or so, to March 2017, we have an uptrend, a long-term uptrend, which is really portrayed by this upward sloping channel with those two orange lines. And only twice has the XJO gone above or below that particular channel since 2009. Once was during the COVID-19 financial panic, and then that was below the channel, and then it briefly went above the channel back in August 2021 after we had something ridiculous like 11 or 12 consecutive up months in a row. And we have just recently, a few months ago, gone up back above that level. So things are still looking pretty good for the XGO. A nice week, I think it was about up 1.5%. Yeah, 1.57%. So a couple of good weeks in a row. So really, when you look at this particular chart, no complaints at all. I would prefer us to get above the old highs we saw back about 3 or 4 weeks ago, but eventually that will happen. If we never see the XGO get it back up to those levels again, then we are in some serious problems. And probably the most likely reason for that sort of scenario happening is maybe a meteorite hitting the world and destroying the world. So let's hope that does not happen. Although maybe some might say, let's hope that does happen, because some would argue that humans are a virus on this world. And I could not argue that. Anyway, so that's the XGO, up nice. In fact, the XSO was also up nice. The XSO is a small odds index, up 1.54%. Not quite as bullish as the XGO over the long period of time. In fact, the XSO is still well away from its all-time highs. All-time highs. You have to have a look at the monthly chart to see that. The all-time high for the small odds was still back in 2007 at 4,200. We're still 1,200 points away from that. Look at that massive bull run in the XSO between 2003 and 2007. That would have been a great time alive. Well, I was alive. That would have been a great time to be an investor. Just by looking at this, particularly if you love small caps. So, yeah, still, it's looking much better, the XSO, than it was in 2021, 2022. Is that the right years? Let's go have a look at the weekly chart again. Yeah, we'll say late 2021 into 2022, even halfway through 2023, is looking much better now. What else can I show you? Let's have a look at the American markets or the indices, starting with the Nasdaq. Another pretty good week, so 3 good weeks in a row, up 1.5%. So all the indices I've shown you, all up about 1.5% for the week, and the Nasdaq is almost at all-time highs. And the Dow Jones, though, had a better week. In fact, the Dow Jones was up 2.16%. So every single indice was up. And as someone mentioned in one of my videos, the UK, the FTSE is up at all-time highs. I believe the DAX is all-time highs. Everything is moving in the right direction. Here's the Nikkei, not at all-time highs, but still in the beautiful uptrend. So at this point in time, even though there are a lot of bears out there thinking the worst, in fact, these bears are out there spooking that we're going to be in a massive downtrend or a bear market. They've been talking about that for the last 400 years. Just read the charts. That's all you have to do. No reason to be bearish right now. See, if anything, bullish. And I think that's what I'm going to show you when it comes to the indices, because what's there to say? It's looking pretty good. So even though we had a pretty bad week, was it 3 weeks ago, things have turned positive, more positive. No, they're still positive. You could have one down week. Doesn't mean things are turning horrible. Here, let's go back to the XGO. We had that big down week Yeah, 3 weeks ago, down 2.84%. But that's nothing to be concerned about because you can see this chart. We've had massive down weeks in the past, and then it turns around. Let's have a look at commodities. In fact, what I'll do is instead of having a look at the weeklies, I'll go back to the dailies for the commodities. Although gold's had a good week. In fact, the last 2 days in gold, that's good. So those gold bugs are, sitting pretty nicely right now. Although we all should be sitting pretty nicely right now because if you don't sit nicely, it can destroy your back. But anyway, gold bugs are loving life right now. A little bit of a dip, but no reason to panic with that dip. And 2 good days in a row. I think for gold, I'd just like to see another high for me to be just as bullish as I was about a month ago. But still, gold is looking pretty good. Iron ore had a big up day. When was that? That was 30th of April. I'm not sure what happened then, but iron ore is sitting nicely at $116, but definitely not as bearish it was. So no reason to be, concerned if you're in iron ore. And believe Fenix, which is a company I did sell out of because it was looking bearish, is back up above 30 cents. Yeah, 30 and a half cents. There you go. But Mount Gibson, which is another iron ore company I sold out of, has not recovered at all. Why is that? So why is the market more bullish around Fenix than Mount Gibson? Probably something to do with maybe valuation. Anyway, that's for another video, maybe. Uranium down 2% at $91.25. Let's have a look at the line chart for the uranium. And a little bit of a pullback after a nice little rally in uranium. I noticed when I did have a look at those companies that are at a 3-month high in terms of chart, quite a few uranium companies there. So uranium companies have been on a bit of a tear recently, but maybe this pullback in uranium might see a little bit of weakness in uranium companies in the new trading week, which is tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Oil below $80 a barrel. Oil actually does look weak. There was a nice little uptrend here. Uptrend was broken on the 1st of May, and now oil is down. And if it breaks below about $77, that would be a fairly bearish move. Now, I have no idea why oil is now looking a little bit more bearish, but the main thing is the petrol at my local pump is just under $2 now. And I haven't filled up for about 4 weeks. In fact, yesterday was the first time I drove for about a week. Actually, more than a week. It would have been maybe a week and a half. And that was just to take the dogs to for a walk. Not in the car, but I took them somewhere and then I let them go for a walk, a 3.5-hour walk. Lithium, flat. I definitely think we have found a bottom with lithium. You can just see that by the line chart here. You can't see it here because there it is, line chart. I definitely think we have found a bottom with lithium. I'm calling it. I am calling it. Lithium has found a bottom, and I have bought a lithium company in the past week. I'll show you, or will I show you that chart? Vulcan Steel. No, it's not Vulcan Steel. That's another company. Vulcan Energy. Is there a company called Vulcan Steel? I'm pretty sure there is, isn't there? Vulcan Steel. Yeah, Vulcan Steel. I did not buy Vulcan Steel, VSL. I bought Vulcan Energy. And there possibly is another lithium company on my company portion of this video. So let's have a look at Vulcan Energy. It's just this breaking out. Nice little breakout. This chart's starting to look much better. And then I'll show you the other lithium company later in the video. Copper. Oh, copper. Well, interesting day for copper on Friday. So it was up 1.7%, but there was a little bit of weakness during the day. It got to all-time high, and then we did see a bit of selling. And then in that selling, we saw copper prices fall below the previous high. So that sort of one-day candlestick is a little bit. It's time to be a little bit wary because there was enhanced selling, enhanced supply, and not enough demand to meet that supply. But overall, if you just look at copper, still really good. Coal, Newcastle coal, this is starting to look more and more interesting, but it's sort of like a slow play. It's taking time here to play out, but I think sentiment in this is also turning more positive. And what else do I have? Well, nothing there. So I'm just going to go back to the markets, have a look at a few ones I've been following. Tin still looks pretty good. Cocoa, I have no desire to buy and trade cocoa, but just because of what's happened, a little bit of a bounce, and I think the top has been reached for cocoa. And Palladium, I don't know why I follow Palladium, just because this is a beautiful downtrend, and the downtrend's still playing out, but there is possible signs the downtrend is coming to an end with the bottom being reached in February, and that's the Nikkei. What about nickel? Do I have nickel here somewhere? Pretty sure I have nickel somewhere here. There it is, nickel. And this is one where you need a line chart again. And nickel. Now, I am about 2 months behind in my Ausbiz the Core. And in one of the videos or one of the episodes I did listen to or watch today, they were very bearish on nickel. And not only bearish in the short term, bearish in the long term, like 2 years. I think it was Rudy saying, oh, nickel is there's going to be trouble for the next 2 years. And that would have been March the 20th or something. So nickel was showing signs of maybe turning around at that point, but this is an interesting looking chart. So nickel was in a downtrend, and now I could say and even argue nickel is turning higher. It's turning into an uptrend. Okay, so let's go back to that previous watch list, and we'll have a look. Go back to candlesticks, and we'll have a look at Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin doing? So I think Bitcoin is, there's no, I wouldn't say Bitcoin is in a downtrend, but it's definitely not as strong as it was between October and March. So we're talking about a 6-month period where Bitcoin went from $28,000 to $74,000. And in fact, I'd say there is a bit of weakness in Bitcoin right now, but nothing to be running for the hills if you owned a lot of Bitcoin and were trading Bitcoin at this point in time. And the other thing I want to look at is 30-year US bonds. It is in an uptrend, still in an uptrend. This is my uptrend line right there. Broke through that support level or resistance level, and I'd say US bonds or all bonds are in uptrends right now. If it gets to, say, 5%, that would be really concerning. If you are wanting some interest rate drops in the next 6 months to a year. I think this is telling us, or the bond market is telling us, interest rates are more likely not to be cut in the near term or even the medium term. And I won't show you the Australian 10-year bonds because that's almost identical. It's almost identical, not quite, subtly different. Okay, so let's go have a look at the 10 companies, ASX companies. T codes MTO, motorcycle something. AUB, which is AUB Group. We have Lynas here. WA1, which I think is WA1 Resources, Latin Resources, which is that lithium company, DTL, which is data-free, KCN, Kingsgate, FFM, Firefly, okay, APA Group, Pexa, PXA, and Task Group. In fact, I'm going to start with Task Group because this probably doesn't belong in this video, but it's really interesting. I just noticed because Task Group, there was a takeover bid for this company about 2 months ago. And at that point in time, I'd been a shareholder of this company for about 330 days. And I completely forgot that I had to sell it. And the reason I wanted to wait was just for tax reasons, because the share price more than likely wouldn't fall unless the takeover bid was withdrawn. But it hasn't been withdrawn. But I just noticed the share price of Task Group dropped 2.44% on Friday. I was like, why did it drop like that? Share price was around about 82 cents. Now it's 80 cents, so it's no big deal. But then I had a look again at the takeover bid offer, and then I realized the price of the takeover bid is actually reliant on the price of the company that is taking over Task Group. And that company has a ticker PAR. Can't tell you what the name of it is. PAR Technology. And then what happened on Thursday night, our time, PAR Technology must have released their results, high volume coming in, and share price was down 7%, which would affect Task Group here. So the first thing I did when I woke up on Saturday morning, well, it's not the first thing I did, but I did have a look at the share price of PAR Technology, and it actually did go up 1.25%. So I do think there is potential that Task Group might go up. a little bit on Monday, and then I'll sell my shares in Task Group because I have now owned Task Group for more than 1 year, which means I have to pay less tax when I do sell out. So I will be selling out a Task Group on Monday or Tuesday, whenever day like that. And because I've held it for more than 1 year. Simple as that. Now let's get on to the rest of the 10 companies. There should be 10 companies here. And the first one is Motorcycle Holdings. So why I've included this company in this particular chart, in this particular video. Chart is in a well-defined downtrend. Looks fairly similar to 2023, the first half of 2023. And then the share price of Motorcycle Holdings hit a low of about $1.39 in June 2023. And then it rallied, went from $1.39 all the way up to a high of $2.50. Looks where the share price is right now for Motorcycle Holdings. It's at that level. That low. Is this a double bottom? Now, I have successfully done this trade in the past where I have bought when the share price of a company has reached a really significant psychological support level. And Motorcycle Holdings is at that support level right now. Will I buy shares in this company? At this point in time, no, but it is an opportunity for those who maybe want to do much more of a short-term trading. And I think there is potential. There could be a bit of a bounce for Motorcycle Holdings. Now, if we do look at the weekly chart, it's still nowhere near its COVID-19 lows, which were around 65 cents. And the long-term chart looks pretty ugly, to be fair, and nothing to be excited about this company. And maybe you might see some value in this company as well. Markup's just above $100 million, dividend yield 10.4%, probably a dividend yield trap. I'd say the dividends will be dropping in this particular financial year, and PE ratio of 4.5. And I think that is also a trap. So the market is saying the profits of this company are going to drop significantly in this financial year. So last year they had profit of 23 million. In fact, the last 3 years, they've had profit of 28 million, 23 million, and 23 million. But the market is saying profits won't be that high this financial year. And if they are, this could be the cheapest company on the ASX if they achieve profits. Now, in the last half year, they had profits of 6.6 million. So even the half year profits are down. Let's have a look at AUB Group. And I am a shareholder of this company for full disclosure purposes. Now, they did release, what did they release? It was a profit upgrade, a slight profit upgrade. There it is on the 7th of May, earnings guidance. And funnily enough, the share price didn't respond all that well. Share price was up 2.2% on the day. Share price went to a low or high of about $29.50. The share price has kept on rallying, which is actually a good sign. The market has digested the news from AUB Group and has liked what they've seen, and they've been more willing to buy at the slightly higher prices. Now, the interesting thing about AUB Group is just where the share price is right now. And that's the reason I wanted to include this company. If you just draw a line at the last few highs, you can definitely see that this area is a resistance zone. I've also learned I can do triangles. Somewhere here, I have the capabilities to do triangles. Now, I'm going to have to find it now. Here it is. I can do triangles. So I would say right in there is a resistance zone. And the share price of AUB Group is right in that resistance zone right now. And if it breaks above $32, it'll be all-time highs. I'm assuming it's all-time highs or very close to all-time highs. If not, yeah, all-time highs. And a beautiful weekly chart, by the way. This is the sort of chart you want to see for a long-term hold. So just compare this chart to the MTO chart, the Motorcycle Holdings, completely different, night and day difference. This is the sort of chart you want to be in, the sort of company you want to be in for the long term if that's your sort of thing. So I am a shareholder of this company for the long term, and also it's a beautiful chart. But just because it's a beautiful chart doesn't mean we won't see the company struggle in the short to medium term, because where the share price is right now is at an important psychological level. Lynas Resources, or not, no, Lynas Rare Earth, sorry Lynas. Are we seeing a breakout with Lynas Rare Earth share price? This is the daily chart. Share price in a downtrend. So if I've just connected the last 3 highs, significant highs, there's another high here that just struggled to get to it. So we just connected these 3 highs and just continue that line through. We can see the share price pulling above that line on Friday on strength. Share price rallied 3%. I would like to see, or would have preferred higher volume, and the share price has just taken off for this company. So is this the breakout for Lynas Rare Earths? Remains to be seen, but I have decided to put this company on my radar just to see. Yep, it's in my Bye Bye Australia watch list, just to see if we continue to see some strength with Lynas Rare Earths. Funnily enough, another company I am trading right now, Iluka, which is also rare earths, has seen weakness in the last few days. And this one was starting to look interesting. So both Iluka and what's the other one? No, this is not rare earths. This is mineral sands, isn't it, Iluka? Yeah, Iluka's mineral sands. So they're completely different companies. I'm mistaking you there. But anyway, Lynas Rare Earths is starting to look maybe a little bit more interesting. It's not a 6-month high. I do prefer share prices to be a 6-month high, but if it gets above, in fact, you could draw another line here. These two highs were exactly the same level. So if it gets above 720, that would mean the share price of Lynas would be at least a 6-month high. So that could be the level where I might become interested, $7.20. So not far off from that. Another thing I might do is just take a preemptive position in this company on the assumption that eventually it will get above 720. A dangerous play, but something I've done in the past. That's Lynas Rare Earths. Now let's have a look at a company called WA1 Resources, an absolutely stunning chart. Nothing to complain about this chart if you're a shareholder. Share price has gone from, I think it broke out. Here's the breakout. If you held WA1 Resources on the 21st of October, you had shares at 13 cents. And now share price is $20. So this has been almost a 100 bag. Wait there, 13? 13, no, it's not nowhere near 100 bagger. Wait there, no, it has, it's over 100 bagger. It's like it's well over 100 bagger. So 13 cents, $1.30 is a 10 bagger, $13 is a 100 bagger, and so it's a 100 bagger. What's next? $13, $130 will be a 1,000 bagger. So it's still not quite a 200 bagger. So we'll say 170 bagger. And more than likely, those shareholders who were in at 13 cents, they're no longer holding shares in this company. They would have taken profits. And if they haven't taken profits, they're probably planning their retirement holiday to, well, the world around, sort of a retirement holiday. Maybe not a retirement holiday. A year-long retirement holiday all around the world if they've maintained their holding in this company's shares. But yeah, absolutely stunning chart. This is the sort of chart you want to be holding shares in for the long term. And we're only talking about 2 years or so, isn't it? It's less than 2 years where it broke out. And this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm now looking for. Now, the share price, when it broke out, rose 418% in one day. And so you might be asking, why would I buy after that? Share price rose 418%. I've missed the boat. Share price closed on that day at 70 cents. It's never been lower. So you could have bought on that day, the share price rose 418% and have never been in the red for this company. So don't be shy when you do see the share price of a company rise 418% in one day. There are reasons behind it. Now, just because it has happened for this company doesn't mean all companies will run like WA1 Resources. Now, WA1 Resources is a lithium play. I'm pretty sure this is lithium. And yeah, so we possibly are seeing the share price of this company breaking out. It's got to pass the past two lows or past two highs we saw in February and March. Now, the share price is not at a 6-month high. We'll say at a 5-month high, 4 or 5 month high. So you might want to wait till the share price gets above 28 cents, but this is starting to look quite interesting. I would like to see some higher volume coming in for WA1 Resources. We're not seeing some elevated volume, but definitely one of the lithium companies I'm starting to watch with a little bit more of a finer, not finer detail, with a eagle's eye I'm paying more attention, looking at these charts a bit closer and more often. That's probably the best way to put it. I'm looking at these charts more often because they are showing signs of turning around. Not all of them, but some of them are. WA1 Resources, Vulcan Energy, to the ones I'm thinking of right now. Someone also mentioned Liontown Resources, but that is a little bit behind these two companies. But I think Liontown Resources might be next on the list. And then I think some of the other weaker lithium companies show no signs of that whatsoever. And what I mean by weaker, let's have a look at Core Lithium. Might be being a bit unfair here, but yeah, this is show no signs of turning around at all. Okay, data 3 is fairly similar to MTO, but this is a higher quality company. And this is right at the levels, the lows we have seen, a very important level, a very important psychological level for data 3, which is the lows we saw after they released their half-year results. Share price got down about $7.60, and then it rallied, and then it came all the way back down to $7.60, and then we saw another rally, a much weaker rally, and now we've just seen the share price hit this level again. Wouldn't be surprising to see the share price fall below this level because the most recent rally was really weak, a very weak rally. But if you look at the long-term chart, this could be just a buy the dip situation. I probably would prefer the share price to get down to maybe $6.50 to $7 before I would even think about buying a longer-term position in this company. But the overall chart here, the long-term chart, looks pretty good. So this could be the buy the dip of a higher quality company. Not sure if I would describe Data 3 as a high quality company, but I'd say it's a quasi high quality company. I'll have to do a little bit more research on it, but this could be the opportunity. This little bit of weakness in the company's share price. But if it does fall through 760, this support level, that would be fairly bearish. Now to Kingsgate, something like that. Kingsgate consolidated. I'm assuming this is gold. I don't know. I just saw the chart and I went, let's include this company in this video. Exploration, development, and mining of gold, silver, and precious metals. So it's not surprising this chart's starting to look better. What's a market cap of this company? They've got revenue, increasing revenue the last 2 years. The market cap is 460 million. And this is now at least a 6-month high. In fact, a 1-year high for Kingsgate Consolidated Limited. So it's looking pretty good. Nice little rally in the share price on Friday, up 12.97%. Not sure what caused that. Let's have a look. KCN. Green light for Plant 1 at the Chair Tree Gold Mine. So some positive news from the company. Not the sort of announcement I would run into, but chart looks absolutely, I won't say stunning. It looks really good at this point in time. Weekly chart for the company. So it's a long period where the share price has done nothing. We're talking about 2.5 years where the share price has gone sideways after a really nice run in the share price of this company. So definitely a company to put on your watch list. I have not had a look at this company in the past. Now it's a company I have no idea. FFM, Firefly Metals. And again, this was just the chart. The chart looks really good. I'm assuming another gold company. Markup 405 million, but doesn't look like it's in production. Yeah, focus on copper, gold, nickel, and diamonds. Interesting. Diversification there. But again, just the chart. I think the time to buy this, if I was following this a little bit more closely, the time to have thought about this was just there when it got above those highs at 63 cents. So if you bought maybe the next day, share price rallied to 70 cents, you'd be laughing right now because the share price has kept on rallying. Another example of a beautiful chart and a breakout happening. When was that? 20th of March, almost 2 months ago. AUB Group. Now, not necessarily thinking about buying shares in this infrastructure company, but this is showing signs of the share price turning around into a possible uptrend. Share price has just gone past the old highs we saw in April and is at these highs we saw back in December last year. So interesting share price action, and I'd like to see a little bit higher volume, but if the share price keeps on going up here, I think we could say and call AUB Group now in an uptrend. Not my favorite type of company, Dividend yield 6.3%, price earnings ratio below 10, but it is an infrastructure company. In regards to utilities, I think it's gas infrastructure. Yeah, portfolio of gas, electricity, solar, and wind assets. Energy infrastructure, asset management, energy investments, and other. There you go. The energy infrastructure includes infrastructure assets across gas transmission, compression, processing, storage, and electricity generation and transmission. But the chart is starting to look more interesting. And finally, Pexa, a company I was trading, and I thought it might struggle to get above 1360, and it did. I bought here, struggled to get above 1360, pulled back, and then look at this run in the share price. And that's on the back of some positive financial news. And this is a pretty good breakout. Now, for those who only like investing or trading in profitable companies, this is not profitable. Market cap of 2.6 billion and no PE ratio because it's not profitable. But there is a lot of interest in this company among the market, among fund managers, because I don't know, they're just interested in it. You can tell they're interested because it has a market cap of 2.6 billion, but the company is not profitable. Chart looks pretty good. I'd like to see the share price pull back and test the breakout, but you can just see share price was in a downtrend, and I thought it was starting to get an uptrend, and that's why I took a trading position. That position failed, sold out, and now the share price has gone on a run. Okay, and I think that's all I have for today's video. If you like any questions or have any questions, leave them in the comment section of this video, and I'll answer those questions in my next answer and reply video. Not sure if that will be next Saturday or not, because I am rostered on to work. I was not rostered on to work today, but I actually am working. I'm working from home in emergency shift. Someone called in sick or something, and they had no other options. Don't cry for me because I get a lot of money doing these emergency shifts, as you should when you have to do an emergency shift, no matter when, but especially when it's on a Sunday. Okay, so that's all I got for today's video. The last thing I should mention is I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who's qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.